I'm on the air. Oh, hey, everybody. How y'all doing? This is Dr. Lockett. While you finish your disgusting donuts and your chili cheese fries over there and all that stuff, we're going to get this thing started. We're doing a professional development. And today, as you can see, because for all my folks who are not here, today is the 7th of March, 2023. We're doing SimNet training. I'm Dr. Lockett. That's Daniel, who you can't see over there, but he's an educational representative. You can see him. That's Daniel.
Hey, I'm Daniel with McGraw Hill.
Yeah, Daniel. And this is Chris. He's going to do most of the training. He's from Virginia, and he is from the Raleigh area. Okay. So what we're going to do today, good question, I'm glad you asked. The overview, we are going to a new version of CIS 110 with SimNet. Everybody know, anyway, while we're doing it. So we're going to have this hands-on demo, which I'm going to show you how to do the due dates. Okay, now, why am I showing you how to do the due dates? That's a very good question, Ms. Sobers. I'm glad you asked. The reason I'm showing you, I know I walk around, he's following me with the camera, but I'm just making sure I come over here to make sure that you're not in your purse eating snacks. Okay, so you should have a handout that says due dates. And I'm going to show you how to do this quickly because in the future, of course I'm writing myself out of a job. I'm 70 years old, which means I'm not going to be here forever. So I'm writing myself out of a job. I didn't stutter. I know I look good. Keep it to yourself. I'm going to show you how to do these due dates because pretty soon you'll be doing your own. And I don't know if you know how to do it. We have master classes, but you'll do your first 8-week class. You might do your second 8-week class. So I'm just going to go. When I say briefly, sir.
I think I see the whole class. We prefer you to do all the days.
Okay, good. Are you the non-attorney spokesperson for the class? Okay, well, undocumented, because that ain't going to happen. Okay, thank you. You have to teach. I'm teaching y'all how to fish. I know you're allergic to crabs or whatever, but I'm teaching you how to fish. Okay, so on this handout here that I just showed you, it shows you how to create the dates. It's very simple. It tells you step by step how to do it. So, but basically, you go to the website and you get the due dates. You get the calendar and you get the dates. Okay. So for fall, which I'm going to do for you, but you might have to do a second 8-week in fall. So you get the start date, get the end date. Okay. And you put in the breaks. Okay. You open up Excel, just like it says. You put in all the dates from the start date to the end dates. Okay. Once you do that, you put in the breaks, okay? So in the fall, again, you're not gonna have to do this, I'm gonna do it for you, but you might have to do second 8 weeks in the fall for yourself. You put in the breaks, okay? So you can see we have September the 4th, October 17th and 18th, and November the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. You put those in next to the dates, so you won't schedule class or an assignment on that date, okay? Once you do that, you put in, each module has 14 days, 2 weeks. You number it from 1 to 14. From 1 to 14, that's module 1. Then you start over. 1 to 14, that's module 2. 1 to 14, module 3. And you continue in that manner, making sure that you do not put a class day during a break, okay? And then finally, you put in the modules. And if the number is a 1, it's a start date. If the number is a 14, it's an end date. Start date, end date. That's how it's done. Any questions, comments, concerns, criticism, small remarks? I didn't think so, because I'm good at this.
So how do you put this? Can you show us how to put that in?
Sure, I can.
Are you just telling us how to calculate the dates, or are you talking about how to actually put that in?
No, how to figure out your due dates in Excel.
Okay.
You do.
Okay, this is just figuring out the due dates and not, do we have to put start dates and end dates in Blackboard?
You will, he'll cover that. We think they might transfer over, but he'll cover that.
They will. So these instructions walk you through how to do this. Do they have this too?
Yeah. So you first have to have the dates.
And that's just simply finding out what the dates are.
Right.
Just module starting today.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, how to determine the start date and end date for each module. Okay? I could walk you through how to do that, but I don't think I have to.
Willie, should I cut some of the lights?
You can, but it's going to be a glare on my head.
Oh, don't cut them off? Oh, I thought I was gonna help you.
No, keep them on.
Yeah, keep them on. I mean, I look good regardless, but you can keep them on. Okay, so I'm just going to do it real quick. Go to Excel. Real quick. Okay, go to blank document. So I'm going to put in the word day. Okay, we already know that it starts fall, 21st of August. Okay, and we know it ends on December something, so I'm just going to write that in all the way to December. Let's put those dates in all the way to December, so you put them into December, whenever that ends. Okay, the next thing you do is you put in the breaks. Well, I know from the calendar that we have a break on September the 4th, so I go to September the 4th and put in break. Okay, and I know that each module has 14 days, so here are the breaks. And here are the module dates. I just call them MD. Okay, we know that each module date has 14 days. So I just go, I know I can do this a different way. I know how to copy and paste. I know that stuff. I do teach computers. But I'm just going to do it this way for now. Okay, see? So that's the first module. So this will be the first. Uh-oh, what's that? Gosh, that should be a 13. Why you didn't tell me, Ms. Mason, Dr. Mason?
You said you wanted to do it that way? I couldn't see it.
Okay. People in TV land, that's what you call shade. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. There's a lot of shade going in this joint. Okay, so you would know that this is module 1. So that's M1. And then, of course, I would merge and center that, something like that. And then I would put the date in the center. Okay, so I can't schedule anything there, so I'm gonna merge and center that because that's a break. And then I would start over right here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9. I know I could copy these dates down. I know that. Don't tell what Dr. Lockett, why you not copying down? I know I can do that. But I'm just showing you how and you were continuing in that matter. That's how it's done. Okay, so now what I do, you can do it any way you want to. I know that a 1 is a start date. So, okay, so here's module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, here's start and here's end. Okay, I know, it should be here. Start, end. Okay, I know that module 1 start. I just do it like this. I knew module 1 starts on a 1, and it ends on a 14. And then I know module 2 starts on a 1, and I just continue in that manner. That's how I get the due dates. Okay. Any questions, concerns, criticisms, smart remarks about that? I didn't think so because I'm very thorough. I'm really good. Couldn't play sports, but I can put in dates. All right, so here we go. That's your hands-on demo. So now my good friend is going to show you how to go through assignments in SIMNet, how to build your class.
All right, so everyone in here has access to the development shell inside of Blackboard, correct? Has everyone at least looked at it? It's okay if not.
The answer is no.
All right. So what we've done, and I worked with Willie this morning to get the summer courses set up. So you guys will have, when you go into SimNet, you'll have this, if you're teaching this summer, you will already have your SimNet course set up with all of the due dates. And then I'm gonna work on fall this afternoon or tomorrow at some point and go in and get all the due dates set up. And then from that point on, if you're teaching in either summer or fall, your due dates are set. You're just gonna copy, and I'm gonna show you how to do all this, but you're gonna copy out of the master. And then from that point on, you'll just copy from your existing course. So similar to how a lot of the other platforms work, but we do have your dates set for summer, and we'll have them for fall as well. So let's make sure everyone has a SimNet login. How about that?
Okay.
So open up a separate browser and go to FTCC simnetonline.com.
It's FATECCC.
What's that?
FATEC.
Sorry, FATEC, F-A-Y.
.com or .com?
.com, yeah. All right, so this is what you want to have bookmarked on your computer. Unlike some of the other platforms that are out there, every school that we set up with SimNet that's using the platform has their own custom URL. So if you went and just Googled SimNet, it's not going to bring you to what you need to access your course. So fatec.simnetonline.com. You should have, is there an Angela in here? All right, so Angela, we did just set up your account this morning. It didn't look like you had one, but it looked like everyone else did. Can everybody just try and see if they can get logged in? Inside of the development shell, you all have access to the entire course. Willie and I took this exact course and put due date, or copied it over in SimNet and put due dates on it. So this is the course that will be used for summer and then again in the fall. So to give you a quick rundown of how each module is laid out. So there's going to be an introduction assessment, or a chapter of reading, and then an assessment. A chapter of reading, and then an assessment. Do you guys see that inside of the Blackboard shell?
You're in module 1.
Yeah. And then when you get into module 2, so module 1 is lecture, so it's all the concepts. Module 2 is Word. And the same thing follows here. So you're going to see there's getting started with Word. Then there's going to be a chapter reading on formatting paragraphs, another, and then all the assessments here. And I'm going to jump. What's that?
I like that better so you can see them all in one spot. So they click, folder.
And so everything is, I'm not sure how Paradigm integrated into Blackboard, but SimNet is at the assignment level. So when the students click on it inside of Blackboard, it's going to stay within that iframe of Blackboard for the students to access there. So they're not going to have to go out to another organization page or anything like that. What you got?
Okay, I'm just looking at it. Make sure I'm seeing what you're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Main module 1.
Click.
You're
Are you in the
you're in
same?
module 2.
Yep.
I'm here.
Yeah. And then those are the assignments right there.
I gotta receive my password.
Here, I'll set it up after we finish.
Okay.
All right, so now to jump into, so this is the organization side of things. I'm going to jump over into SimNet just to show you what the students are going to be working in. All right, so inside of your SimNet course, I'm going to load in that sample course into SimNet. So when you log into SimNet, you go to courses, you will see that master shell. Right now it's just living over in Blackboard. When we finish today, I'm going to load it into SimNet so you can get around and play with the assignment types.
Okay, because I clicked on an assignment and then asked me some privacy statement. Is that what the students are gonna see?
No.
No. Okay.
They're going to have to create an account once, and then after after they do the username and password, put in their code. After that point, it's single sign-on. Yep.
Yeah, because that, after I did the privacy thing, then I clicked on it again, then I got, already have an account, yes, sign me in, or no, create a new account. So,
That's on the instructor side. So
Oh.
don't. Yeah. So hang tight on that.
okay.
That's the process that you would go through when you're setting up. When we get down here to step 4. So you would go into SimNet, copy the course, and then when you have your Blackboard show, you would go in and do exactly what you just did, and it's going to walk you through pairing the course and then deploying the assignments over into Blackboard. So you can always, when you log into your course, Sim Student is up on the top right. That will always allow you to jump in and see any of your courses the way that a student would. You can also click on Library, and it'll take you to the full ebooks that the students have access to. Kind of rewind a little bit here. So students, when they purchase access to SimNet, they have lifelong access to the product. So we keep SimNet as much evergreen as we can. Given that Microsoft is now 365, they do batch updates like they did with 16, 19, 21. But then there's some minor changes that happen between those updates. When those happen, we slowly push them out every Friday evening. So our goal is that students will always see in the simulations what they would see if they went and opened up Excel or Word on their computer. They'll always have access to this, so if they're taking accounting, they get into a marketing course and want to freshen up on how to do a presentation, they can jump back into their ebooks and go through the trainings and simulations around that content. All right, so what the students, when we were looking inside of Blackboard, we saw 2 assignments per chapter. So there was that, the reading and then the assessment. So the reading, what the students are gonna interact in, is what we call a sim book. So a sim book basically takes the chapter and all of the skills that are inside of that chapter and integrates the trainings alongside of it. So that simulated work through. So when the students access this, they would click on it inside of Blackboard. This would pop up within the Blackboard iframe. This has a due date on it. It's all mastery based. So we want this to be low stakes. Do not stress the students out. They stay in it as long as they need to. Everybody can get 100% as long as they stay in it and work through it before the due date. But you'll see that we break it up into chunks. So building and editing a formula. And then before we go too far, you'll see this show me, guide me, let me try. So they read about a skill, and then we want them to practice it. So is this somewhat similar to what you guys have used in, okay. So here, the show me is nothing more than a video. It's all closed captioned. The ebook has closed captioned on it as well. Projects, anything within SimNet has a built-in screen reader. It reads in 19 different languages, I believe. They can highlight, it reads it back to them. They can take notes and it'll read the notes to them. Here, they're just gonna watch the video. It's gonna go through basically what they just read. Now in the guide me, this is where it takes the training wheels off a little bit. So now that you read it, you watched the video, now we're gonna give you steps, and this is a bad example because there's only one step. Normally the guide me would be like 5 or 6 steps. And then when they got to the 3rd step of the training, the let me try, it's always 1 step. So the guide me is telling them what to do and how to do it, so very regimented. And then when they get to the let me try, it's all about the correct answer. So do you know how to get to point B? We don't care how you got there, but do you know how to get there?
So they can click around and do and navigate and find stuff.
Yep.
Without being penalized. So it's ultimately what they're looking for is on the data tab, but to get to the data tab, they go to the insert and then they go to the review.
Yes,
They'll be okay.
and the let me try, yeah.
Okay.
So in the guide me, they have to go step by step by step of the way that we tell them. Example, let's say one of these steps is asking students to right click on a cell. I have a Mac, you can't right click. What we've done here is in the top right, you'll see device tips, and the system automatically recognizes what operating system the students are using and gives them the shortcuts or the functions that they need to be successful in the assignment.
Is it required that they go through all three? Show me, guide me, and
No. So you can require them when Willie set up the course, and most faculty don't really care that if they go through the show me or the guide me. The let me try is what's important, because when you get to the let me try, all the shortcuts are activated. It's still simulated, but we've loaded in all of the most commonly used shortcuts and whatnot, so students can use all of that just as if they were in the live application. So to that point, what we care about and what most faculty care about is that you don't have to follow the Windows steps as long as you know how to get the correct answer.
did you require all of them?
I don't remember.
We just did the let me try.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yep. But you guys can go back, and that's something that you can adjust. But right now, just the let me tries are required. So if they go in and do the let me try, and then we see a lot of times students go directly to the training, they skip the ebook, skip the training, go straight to the let me try. Nothing prevents them from, all right, I thought I knew this, but I don't really know this as well as I thought I did. I could go from the let me try back to the guide me, back to the show me. I could exit out and go back to the ebook. So nothing is preventing them from kind of altering their workflow. Questions? All right, so going back to the training. So you'll see up top, there's 19 skills. So in chapter 1, there's 19 skills that the students are going to be exposed to. So there's 19 skills, 19 let me tries. So by default, this assignment would be worth 19 points, but we changed it all to 100, right? So all of these are worth 100 points. The due dates are set, just like everything in that module is due on the same day. So they have time to work through all of those, and at the time that those assignments cut off, wherever they are, is the grade that they get. So there's nothing that's counted wrong, it's just counted incomplete, basically, because it's mastery based. So they didn't complete one of the skills.
Say that again?
So nothing is might not have been the correct word choice there. Nothing in the show me, guide me, let me try is marked right, or they're not penalized for getting it wrong, because it's just going to feed it back to them. So if they didn't get something correct, it's not that they're getting dinged for it being wrong, they're just not getting credit because it's not right. So it's kind of like an incomplete.
How does that translate to the grade book?
They just wouldn't. So if there was just one that they weren't able to work through, then they would get 18 out of 19 points.
It's like accumulate points for
Yeah.
getting stuff correct.
It's not cumulative, you get it wrong. So you're not getting points for it.
If they stay in it for 2 hours and they never can get the answer correct, then they're not going to get points just for that one. They'll get credit for every other skill if they get them correct within the chapter, but just not that one. Is that clear? No.
They'll be cruising on it until they get it right.
Yeah,
So it is cumulative.
it sounds more confusing than it actually is. It's like they earn points. That's all. If you don't get it right, you don't get it right. You know, if you get 18 right, you got 18 right.
All right, that's what I'm going with right there.
But this is a graded assignment.
It is.
Okay.
So they get graded for every chapter. They're going to get a SimBook assignment, which is that low stakes learning assignment. And then we have a simulated exam that Willie built out that covers all the same skills that they work through here. And I'll show you that in a second. Any questions about this part of the SimPath, or SimBook? All right, so when the students get it correct, it's going to take them to the next skill. So you'll see up top, it's a skill 2 of 19. And then if they want to go back to the ebook, they click exit, and they're right back to where.
If they move on, like they were on task 2 right there, let's say they skip like to task 18, they're working through, and then they get to task 18, they're like, okay, wait, I don't know this. When they close out, does it take them back to where they started, or does it bring them to task 18 in the book?
It's going to leave them off where the next skill. So if they completed 1 through 5 and then skipped to 18, it's going to take them into skill 6.
Into,
Skill 6.
oh, okay, so where they,
temporary pauses it.
Mm-hmm.
so where they entered, where they initially entered, it's gonna take them back there.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So they don't have to do the steps all over again.
Nope, 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 nope. It saves their progress, and it makes it really easy for them to see here. When they click on the assignment inside of Blackboard, this is where it comes to. They can either open the SimBook, which is where we were, takes you into the ebook with all the trainings, but this is more of a interactive table of contents. So if they are working through the assignment in multiple sittings, as they go through and they're getting stuff correct, you're going to see the check mark here, up here. So it's easy for them to jump back in and start where they left off.
Do we have access to this?
I'm going to give you access to it when we finish today. I thought you already did, but we'll get it to you.
Well, I don't know if I do or not, I just know how to get to it. Do I?
Yeah, she's in the,
Is-
she's in the SimBook now.
You're in the SimBook now?
Not the book, but she's in the.
Go to module 1. Click back.
Back,
Yeah.
and this is spring 23.
Yeah, I think it's because the dates are set. So when we set dates, we made it so the assignment was not available before the start date. So that's why you're not seeing them.
Okay.
But give me time I want to open up the due dates on the one that I copy over to you guys, so that when you go in, you'll see that exact same course. You're just going to see all the assignments within it.
We all have spring 23? That's the
Yeah.
one we all have? Okay.
Yeah, I got, I'm in mine. I got spring,
No, send that.
yeah, well, I don't have this, I have old ones already.
Probably because I don't have any CS ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just.
I just need to add it to that screen to everybody's account.
Yeah.
And that'll be done today, so you have access to it. And then the spring is what we copied this morning into summer and into fall. So that'll be done. All right. And then the other assignment, which is taking place of, because we're running into some schools are running into more than others, but just with the usage of Chromebooks and MacBooks, not being able to use Access if you're on anything other than a Windows computer. Chromebooks with dual enrollment always causes an issue. So what we've worked through with Willie is to create a simulated exam, which is going to take the place of that project. So it's going to eliminate them having to download a start file, work through instructions, and then submit it for grading. So I believe that's the process that you all are working through now, or was in Paradigm. This is what's going to follow each sim book. So there's going to be that reading assignment. They're going to get a grade for it, and then it's going to take them into a simulated exam. So this looks very similar to what we were just looking at in the Let Me Try. The only difference is there are no show me and guide me. The device tips are still here. You can turn on hints. We did not have them turned on, but if that's something that you want, when you go to set up your course, we can work with you to turn on hints so the students can get those as they work through.
I have a question.
Yes.
I see this assignment is great, this time, like 60 seconds. Is there a way to accommodate some of the students, what do you call it?
Disability
Yeah.
stuff.
Disability,
Yeah.
So
Yep,
you
yep,
have
yep.
to, like, give them like, so the 60 minutes, it'd be 90 minutes.
Yep.
Is there a way to?
Yeah, I'll show it to you. You go into your roster, and there's an ADA compliance little checkbox. And if the student comes to you and they need 1.5 time, you can set it there, and it automatically applies it to every timed assignment that they have. Great, thanks for pointing that out. So every assessment that follows the SimBook has a time of 60 minutes on it. They have 2 attempts at the exam, and then 1 attempt at each question as they work through.
think, bouncing off what Tamika said, like if this, if they went 30 minutes through and it exit out and come back in, would it resume that, or is that sort of tip one and goes to tip two?
So we allow them, we worked through it this morning, and we allowed them to pause the assignment, which is go out and come back in.
Can you adjust how many attempts they have on the questions? Because they have one attempt within, on each question
Mhm.
within the exam and two attempts. That's
For
the
that.
default that you have set right now.
Mhm.
Can you adjust to give them the attempts per question?
You can. That's why I wanted to have this meeting earlier than waiting right until everyone is breaking for summer. The way that we defined a master course, which is what we built out here, does limit what other people can change when it's copied out. So if you wanted to change something like that, you would just need, and we will walk you through this, you can take the current course and that exam and just create a copy of the exam, then you're the owner of the new copy, and then you can change everything that you want.
How does that affect what things in Blackboard?
You would need to drag over a new link into Blackboard, so it wouldn't connect to the existing link.
Just one link?
So if you assign or redo, say, 5 assessments, then you would have to,
Every single assessment?
that you
change,
redo,
you have
yeah,
to redo.
yeah.
Okay.
But you only do it once, and then at the end of the term, as long as you keep everything the same after that, when you copy over the SimNet and Blackboard, everything automatically syncs back up and you're good to go. It's only when you change assessments that you have to go back in and redeploy that assignment over into Blackboard.
So if I, so in this, if I'm teaching 5 sections, I can change that one section and just copy that over to
Correct.
the rest?
Yep.
Or we can make the master course. We can all agree on 3 attempts, whatever, in the master course, so that everybody's having the same amount of attempts, the same amount of everything. We can do that in the master course.
Yep.
I just set it up like that because I wanted to. But we can change it.
Yeah.
I was looking at the time too, you got like 60 minutes, 35 steps.
Yes.
I was just thinking of some older people. Like I hadn't went through all 35 steps. I don't know if they're got, take the time. You see what I'm saying?
And
It
the
might take
same-
me 3 or 4 or 5 minutes just on one step, and
That's another thing. So I guess that's the same thing, like if I wanted to take the time off, same concept there too, right?
Correct. Yeah.
so that's like a minute and 30 seconds per step. But I don't know how sophisticated the steps is.
So when do we have this conversation about settings?
It's my course. I did it the way I wanted to.
No, you said you wanted to have, you wanted to get together and agree.
Yeah, so we can decide on making it, whatever you guys want to do, we can make the master course tailored to what we all agree on, which basically is what she tells me to do. Okay? We can do that. We can change it. Nothing is in stone.
And that can all be done because Willie is the owner of that master, can always be done in his account. Even after the classes start and there's students enrolled in it, you can always revisit that master and make some adjustments and whatnot. All right. So I am going to hit submit on this. Because the students have 2 attempts, there's a built-in study guide that is available to them. So after they do the first attempt, it's going to give them what they got correct, what they got incorrect, their history, so if they kind of their click path of where they went, and then if they created a custom lesson, what that does, let's say they got 10 of the ten of the 35 questions correct or wrong. So when they launch their custom lesson, it's going to give them basically a custom sim book, which is that other assignment that they're working in before the assessment, but it's tailored for that student. So it pulls in just the skills that they need based on those questions that they got incorrect. So the goal is to re-engage them in the content and then go back and do the second attempt of the exam.
And it keeps the highest attempt.
Correct. Yep.
So to really take the test all over again, all 18 steps again, not just necessarily what they're
Right,
on.
right. Those are the 2 assignment types. So for every chapter, pretty short and sweet, simple. You've got the sim book that's exposing them to the content. And then you've got the assessment, which is taking place of the current project that assesses them on all the same skills that was in the sim book. It just allows them to do it without being in a downloadable environment. Questions?
Don't have to download anything, don't have to validate anything, just click and go.
And you do it on Chromebook.
Yep.
Mac,
Yes.
Yeah.
any additional
Is that a
steps?
shortcut up there?
Yep.
Any additional steps from Mac versus
No,
Windows?
just
Those,
Send that will automatically detect the operating system and give you whatever keystrokes in the upper right-hand corner that you needed. Yep.
right here. Oh. Right there. And I work on a Mac, and I've never, and I'm not fudging the truth, I've never had one issue. So it's something over COVID, we spent a lot of dev time working with Chromebooks and MacBooks to get everybody up to the same
How
level.
much does it cost for the students to get the code in the book? You know?
I do. I can't quote it now.
This is far-fetched, but what
Yeah.
about mobile devices like phones? Can it do
Is
it?
it?
I mean,
Probably shouldn't. I mean, so if you go to mobile,
yeah, 'cause you'll be surprised.
if you go to mobile, it does
I noticed that.
state that it isn't supported. But I mean, they can do some stuff, but I wouldn't advise them to do it. Those are the assignment types. So when you go into your course, you're going to go to courses on the left-hand side, view all. This is where you're always going to go to see what you're teaching. As we finalize the masters, whenever we all get together and work on policy settings, we'll load those in here as well, and name them accordingly so that you can grab that one and make a copy of it. You can also star the ones that you're teaching. So if you've got 5 sections, you can star them so they come up first in your list. You don't have to search through them.
So everybody's classes will come up here?
You'll just see yours.
Okay.
Yep. Willie will have the choice to see just his or everyone's.
Now, the important question is, so this is where we would go in to see what's going on in SimNet. The grades that the students get in SimNet will still be transferred over to Blackboard.
Yep. But you would go into the SimBook gradebook and what we like to do once you get in like a week or two into class, have kind of like a regroup session when you have live student data, and let's dive into some of your students and see where they're struggling. You can see their attempts, you can see how long they spent on a certain task, and all of that would be inside of the SimBook gradebook. So what transfers over to Blackboard is just the grade, but you click on the grade and it takes you right back in to SimNet to that assignment to kind of dig in to get the details
What's the typical ballpark range for the grades that migrate over?
immediately.
Okay.
All right, so here we're gonna, we want to view this one as a student. So I'm gonna grab the Sandbox course and go to Sim Student. Perfect. So here would be, we're looking at it on the Blackboard side. You'll see like Chapter 1 SimBook, and then the assessment/project. And then the last thing that I want to show you guys is the integration piece. We can't really walk through it completely just because we don't have a dev shell. Willie, can you log into your Blackboard?
Yeah.
Can you write it down?
I'm already there.
Actually, I don't, we're good.
Okay.
All right, so once you have your course ready to rock and roll, you've got your due dates done, you're gonna come back here. You'll find yourself on this courses page a lot. It's where you're gonna go to do pretty much everything. And find the course that you want to pair. And now from this point on, look at my screen just because you guys aren't set up. So we're gonna go to integrate in the dropdown. And then what you will see here, if it will load. So the left is SimNet, the right is Blackboard. So when you guys come in and do it for the first time, all your stuff's going to be right here on the left. When you come over here on the right, you're already going to have modules built out inside of Blackboard. Depending on how you guys work it, if you copy Willie's master Blackboard shell that already has it, that's going to come over. All the links are going to come over. So if that's what you do, you come to integrate and then do relink push, and it links everything back up, and you're done.
If it's a beginning course or virgin course, we have to put every track.
But if you went in and changed like an assignment, like a test or something, you would just have to come in here and find it, and then drag it over to the right. And when you drop it here, it automatically creates a grade column. It's in your Blackboard shell. You're good to go immediately.
So when we get the courses from Lockett, we copy over to Blackboard, and then we log in here to SimNet, that course is listed under our account, or no?
You're gonna have whatever one that however we decide to name it,
Oh,
you'll have
master.
you'll have access to that master, and then you guys can do this if you want to. Pretty simple though. Courses, view all. Let's pretend this is the master that I want to copy over and then pair with Blackboard. Come to the right to actions and copy to course. Rename it and hit next. And you've copied everything over. You go in and grab the Blackboard side of things and hit relink push. You're done.
We're gonna get all this in writing.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
I was on this one, thank you.
this is where I was going to introduce Layla. So Layla is part of our local team. I work on the SimNet team. I live in Virginia Beach, so not too far. As we get closer to the start of classes, happy to come down and do more of these trainings. Happy to do them over the summer, face-to-face. Layla is also a part of a new team that McGraw just hired over the past 8 months. We're calling it Customer Success. And basically, Layla is paired with 3 other local representatives to work with them around course design, troubleshooting, helping you guys pair with Blackboard, going in and looking at reports, where are things working, where are they not working. So just think of it as an extra layer of support. We used to have, or we've always had something like that, but it was always a 1-800 number that you would dial, and you could jump on a Zoom. You can still do that, but you also have another layer of support that can come, sit down, and work through stuff with you in person.
So she's the personalized fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah. For example, I worked with one of your colleagues, Vernette. She's in the psychology department, and she and another colleague, Carrie Nance, adopted a textbook that they're trying out for the Psych 150 course, and they started it in the spring. And so I'm working with them, spring. And so they're meeting with them periodically. I worked with them to help them design their course and also to do the integration with Blackboard Ultra. So I'm already familiar with Blackboard Ultra. And I meet with them periodically. They come to me with questions about policy settings for exams and just any kind of obstacles that they come across. We work through them together. And it's been a great working relationship. And so yeah, I look forward to having that same thing with y'all. And I work hand in hand with Daniel too. So he's not disappearing, he doesn't go anywhere. I make sure that he is aware of everything that we talk about and work through together. So it's very much a handshake kind of relationship with Daniel and me and with y'all. We all work together.
And all of this will be summarized in an email so that you guys know where to go for what.
All right, so I'll owe some of you guys some answers. So if you think of anything, let me know. But I owe you an answer for book of code. We're trying to decide whether we want to have disgusting books or just a code. Don't tell me now. Don't worry about what we need to do. Force to the grade. Dr. Cummings down there, speaking this into existence, wants to know, can you force the grades? If SimNet doesn't grade immediately, can you make it grade immediately?
Yes.
Okay.
In the SimNet gradebook, you can.
And then we got to do attempts. How many attempts on each assignment?
Right now, it's set for 3.
Right. So once again, go home, pray about it, go whatever you need to do. Because after the summer, we're going to tweak it after the summer. We'll be better, more able to determine 50 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, open book, closed book, no book, everything. So right now, that's what I owe you, and I owe you the price of the book.
Daniel probably has
Daniel
that.
does know. But if you go into going to Blackboard, where you are now, book price is in there. I remember.
And they have the option of doing just the code.
That's what we got to decide on. Either we're gonna go code only or book and code.
Get on the price difference.
Yeah.
But could we do it as a choice, like students could decide, yeah, I don't want the book.
Either we're gonna go code only
Yeah.
or book and code. All this back and forth to it, no.
Veto, no,
I'm taking away from it.
no.
We're going the cheapest way. Students don't bring books anyway unless they're
Yeah,
55
exactly.
years old.
Right, yeah. And we got plenty of them.
Yeah.
I would vote for the code only.
Code
I
only.
don't know what you guys think.
But again,
Yeah.
don't tell me now. Don't
Yeah.
tell me now. Wait till you go home.
Tamika, yeah, that's my vote too, yeah.
Eat, pray on it, whatever you need to do. But there you have it.
You know right on what's the difference between the code only versus the code plus book?
He don't-
What about the code only?
Yeah, that's a go.
I did have a question, I forgot that last.
How much is the book only?
You wanna ask?
How much is the book only?
Go through your list again, because I had a question.
Okay, so here's my list.
Daniel's got it.
We got to decide on the books. Tamika doesn't like this grade book. That she doesn't like it. Not this one. The one that's in the. It's black and white. She doesn't like that. It's too big. Okay, so we got to talk about that. The schedule we already did. Categories I got to get with you so we can figure out how to put the categories in Blackboard. Y'all don't have to worry about that. That's for y'all to pay grade. Book or code, when we're gonna have it, like now, you can buy the book with the code, or you can just buy the code.
I still think we should give an option.
We're gonna take that option away. That's what they do in the Army. They take the options away. This is what we're gonna do, how we okay, y'all never been in the Army, so y'all know. Okay. We already talked about fourth grade, that was your question, and how many attempts per assignment?
That was my question, it was about the grades. If a student, if we put in a 0, student doesn't submit something, we put a 0 in, if they go back in late and submit it, will that 0 override, or do we have to take the 0 out? Or if we're gonna accept it, how does that work?
It's automated, we have to manually update it.
So a couple things. So that's one of the policy settings. If you want to accept late,
Okay.
then you can deduct X amount of points per day, per week, per assignment. You always want to, SimNet is always going to be treated as the parent of SimNet and Blackboard. So you're always going to do your grades, your due dates, all of that is going to be done in SimNet, and then it automatically is pulled over into Blackboard. So if you want to override something, you're going to do it in SimNet, and then it'll push into
I
Blackboard.
guess the question is, I think what you was saying, if, say like Module 2 expired, is gone, and then I go in, we'd have to go in and manually enter a 0 in SidNet, right? Or in Blackboard grade book,
Well, they would get a 0 if it already passed.
if the due date's already passed.
Yeah.
So it'll
So what about,
automatically
what about afterwards, they go back and they redo the assignment?
So there's a due date and an end date. So if the due date and the end date, which we set the same, so if they go in after those dates, the grade does not change.
Okay, so,
But if you set the due date at, say, this Friday, the end date at the end of the term,
This semester.
then they have the rest of the term. And then if you wanted to deduct points for every day or whatnot,
Put
you
that
could do
separate.
that. Yeah.
Does that end date mean they can't, but they can still access the assignment, it just won't?
It's not going to affect their grade. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
So
yep.
SimNet will actually automatically put a zero in. 2 months later, if they decide to go and do the assignment and get it 100, SimNet automatically goes to 100.
If the policy is set to allow late submissions, yeah. Yep.
Or we could create a policy that subtracts 10%.
See, that's one of
Yeah.
the problems we have with
Yep.
other software we're using now. You know, it didn't automatically update, so we literally had to go and look at
Yeah,
every.
no, it will.
You know,
It will.
that's time consuming.
Yeah, you can do it right, you said, by day, by assignment, and then by hour. So it sounds, what I would, based on what you just described, I'd probably do by assignment. And then,
So, I guess we can address,
but they can always get in and work in the sim book for if they want to study, or the class is over and they want to come back and freshen up on something. They can always go into their library and they have the full ebook, all the simulations and stuff, so they're not blocked out of anything.
I had a couple of students, if we were like in module 4 and they hadn't done it since module 1 and they had an A in the class, they were like, hey, I'm doing good, why am I stressing out? I'm like, nah. Then when I put zeros in, and then they went back and we'd done the work, I had to literally go and look at, you have to go and look at every assignment.
Gotcha.
Manually, you know,
Yep. No, it'll automatically bring it over for you.
yeah.
Yeah, then you can't, and I'm like, how do you, you gotta go into each individual assignment to see if they did.
But if you go into Ultra, you could, in the grade book, you could make it automatic 0, and then if they do it afterwards, it'll automatically change it, and it won't take any points off.
Supposed to, but I actually went in like this
Yeah, it
morning, I
doesn't always
looked,
work.
and half of mine didn't even come over, I had to manually go in there and it didn't put all.
But you wouldn't want to,
Have to worry
30
about
times.
you won't have to do the workarounds.
everything.
Yep.
We set it in SimNet, we don't have to worry about them settings in
Yep,
Blackboard at
yep.
all. That's good, cause the Blackboard don't work out.
Yeah. And even if you do it in Blackboard, SimNet's going to override it. So I wouldn't.
SimNet will override it anyway.
Yeah.
If you override it once, like after it comes over from SimNet, and if you override it in Blackboard Ultra, will it, when it does another push-pull, will it bring back whatever the original was from SimNet, or?
Yeah.
It will?
Yep.
Okay.
Every time there's like a refresh or anything like that, it'll bring it over.
It's different with different LMSs, right? Sometimes.
Not with SimNet, it shouldn't be.
SimNet? Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So if they ever wanted to override, they would need to like
Do it in SimNet.
do it in SimNet.
Yep.
My milk's getting cold.
What?
I said my milk's getting cold.
I think that means it's time to eat.
I mean, no, that means let's get to moving. All this clear the cloud. I got to reel them in. You always got to reel them in. Especially this side over there. You got to reel them back.
It's that side of the day.
Okay. So finally, everybody got one of these. I'm sure you do, because I'm good at this. I put one by everybody. And when you leave, take those books. One for you, one for your buddy. Okay. The assignment days for the summer. These are all the assignments. This is what you're going to use for the assignments. Again, if you see something on your life, don't tell me now. Go home, pray about it, whatever you do, and then get with me after the summer. And I'll be more than happy to change it. Because I work for you. Yeah, because after the summer, we're going to tweak it up.
Do you have a, so for right now, do you have a summary of the settings
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, like,
that we,
the one he had just did, it was 3 attempts, he had like 60 minutes on that one assignment.
Right. They're all the
That's
same.
all right now?
That's what we set it at. But I can change it. You want me to change it now before the summer?
Yeah.
You go home. Think about it, because this is what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. Let's change it to 8 attempts and 3 tries. I changed it 8. You know what, Dr. Lockett? I don't think we need to do 8 attempts and 3 tries. We need to do 4 attempts and 8 tries. So I go and change 4 attempts and 8 tries. You know, Dr. Lockett, I was thinking. So,
Can we have another little small meeting with us, and you can tell us exactly what all settings?
I work for you. You can tell me whatever you want, however you want it, and I'll make it like that. I just set it up the way I thought best fit at the time. Yeah, I just run a marathon.
Yeah.
I just run a Marine Corps marathon. So I'm thinking 1 attempt, 1 try.
did you really just run
No.
around?
No, I run a Marine Corps marathon. Went to the doggone burger barn, the biscuit barn, got 2 for $2. Okay, is that it? I think
that's
we're
it.
done here.